Hey, welcome back to Ben's Boats. My name is Ben. Today, we're out here working again on this 1990 Cobalt. If all goes well tonight, we're going to end up on the lake. Well, hopefully not stuck there, back at the shop preferably, but at the lake regardless. If you don't remember this boat, that's okay. Let me catch you up. In part 1, we picked this thing up and brought it home. Part 2 was a new impeller in the outdrive, run up to temperature, then a pressure wash. We're here a few days later after all that work. Let me show you what I've gotten done. If you take a look down inside the engine compartment, remember last time we ran on a hose, that exhaust boot right there and that one right there were both hemorrhaging water out the sides when this thing ran. And it wasn't just that side of the engine that was leaking water. This side too, right there. Those inner exhaust elbows were completely shot. Let me show you. Like, I knew these things were bad, but this is absolutely horrible. They were completely seized to the exhaust elbows and the downpipe. I had to cut them to get it apart, and well, we ended up with a mess. That's all in the past though. Tonight, I've got a few more hose clamps to tighten down, test run, and then we're off to the water. I left everything loose last night because I needed to come in here, tighten it up, and make sure we're good to go. Well, that, and the hose clamps that they sent with this kit were absolutely terrible. But I sourced some new ones, and we're going to pop them on here tonight and get going. That's cool. Okay, that side's in. Now we just have to connect these fuel lines. One side is done, let's do the other. Okay, that was all 16 hose clamps tightened down, in place, ready to rock and roll. Everything's connected, I got a battery installed. Let's see if this thing busts off. Awesome. Let's hit the water. Made it down here to the boat ramp. Let's see what we got in the water. There's a bit of an oil film floating, but that's probably from all the trimming I tried to do with this stinking thing. And leak test. Well, none apparent yet. ... Yet. See what we can't come up with. The trim is sticking. That's cool. It's not supposed to do that. Okay, alright. That's one way to quiet that down. Huh, okay. Well, it's trimmed down. Let's start this thing. Well, it's running, and dripping from there. All seems to be okay. Could be a lot worse. Okay, well, as you saw, it's smoking like crazy, and I mean crazy. We do have a leak. Where? I do not know. Probably the U-joint bellows. Bilge pump is currently running, so it's going to drain my battery. Long story short, there's no way we're going to be able to lake test this thing tonight. It's just, I was hopeful, but not tonight. We'll come back later, more prepared, and hopefully we'll get out on the water. It's a darn shame, because it's a beautiful evening out here. think I found something out here after I turned off the camera. These, the secondaries here are vacuum operated, and I think, I can't tell. I don't know if it's actually working. They seem to activate way too early in the RPM range. That's why I'm getting all this black smoke. But if I hold these closed manually, it works a little bit better. If anybody knows how to set vacuum secondaries, let me know. Well, that didn't exactly go as planned, but oh well. But I know what I have to do now. First things first, that carburetor's got an issue. I guess I probably should have guessed that was gonna happen. We knew it didn't idle already. Clearly, it doesn't idle, and clearly it doesn't open up. The vacuum secondary's got an issue, I believe. There was a time when I had the air breather off the top of the engine and it actually ran much better, so it could be something just as easy as cleaning the flame arrestor on top of the engine. Either way, we're gonna figure it out and get this thing running right. It's been a day or two, I'm back out here again. I've checked this thing out a little closer since we worked on it last. Let me show you what I got. First things first is this oil stick. I know this thing is overfueling because it is way over the full mark. And it also smells like gasoline. I really don't want to run this engine as is. I'm glad I caught it now. That could cause serious damage to the internally lubricated components of this thing. Crank, cam, valves, they all need oil to work properly. And the viscosity of this is way too low for it to work right. We got to pull some of this out and put new oil in it. This was incredibly thin. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to that. Hopefully I didn't damage this thing. Oh, there it goes. Oh no. Yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. Oh yeah, right at the full mark. Much better. Alright, that oil is a heck of a lot better than before. The trim works. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but it works now. It's a boat. They do weird things. Did some research on these Mercarbs here. This is basically just a Quadrajet clone. It's got this choke over here is heat activated from the intake manifold right there. And this, I don't know if you look at the footage from the other day, this choke plate was kind of hanging open, which made it so that this vacuum pull-off for the secondary block-off, if you will, was partially open. It wasn't allowing it to open all the way. So this thing was just grossly over-fueling. That was my problem. So I've lubricated this. It moves much easier now. Lubricated all my pivot points over here on the other side. We should be good to go in theory. No better time like the present. We're hooked down to the truck with the boat. Let's hit the lake. Well, it's doing okay tonight. Could be better, could be worse. A lot of blow by on this side. I'm not gonna run this until I get it completely warmed up. So let's get off the trailer and see what we can do. Well, we're away. This thing rattles like crazy. Makes a lot of noise. And it just died. Okay. There's a lot of water down there right now, and for some reason, my bilge pump stopped working. Never really worked too great in the first place, but now it doesn't work at all. Kind of terrifying. So let's see what we can't find out here. That's better. Well, we're moving. Not well, but we're moving all right. Running richer than heck. Doesn't like to idle, but it does drive nice. Unlike last time, you're stuck to the windshield this time, so hopefully you don't fall over. Alright, hop in.
I'm just happy I could park the trailer.
And it died.
Really?
Yep, sure did.
Do I need to be closer to the dock so I can hold it?
Alright, we're in gear now, and we're moving. I'll bet this is really shaky for you, because this windshield is going crazy. We're leaking, and it smells terrible. But let's see what we can't find out. We have temperature on the dash, got good oil pressure, trim gauge works, charging. It says I got slap full of fuel, but well, I'm about to find out. This thing is crazy rattly, and it leaks. Here we go. That's all the way down. Okay. That's not supposed to be doing that. All the way down gets us 12 miles an hour. Exciting. Very, very exciting. I think this is a timing issue. I don't think we're picking up timing as we go. Or I think my base might be too low for it to go anywhere under load. Yeah, it smokes a lot, and it just died again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, please. Gave it a few more degrees on the distributor. Let's see what that does. It's alive still. We'll give it a few more degrees. I left my timing light in the truck. All right, let's see if that did anything. That's what we call spark knock. So that didn't help. Good news is the bilge pump turned back on. Alright, well, it doesn't get up on plane. Probably fuel. Definitely fuel. Carburetor's messed up. Clearly I know the spark advance work. Well, I can turn the distributor body and it moves. When I was revving it back on the hose at the house, I could see the ignition timing move, so I don't think it's a timing issue. Let's get home before I speculate any further. Oh, I smell a stink bug. Oh, well, that's better. Not much. Just open up, dang it. So close to being on plane. Okay. This is very unhappy. Let's get it back home. Hey, it's idling. Look at that. Come here. We're headed for the trailer. It is running not great, running nonetheless, and wind. This is gonna be fun. Ugh. That could have been worse. And the trim's stuck again. Unstuck. Well, that could have gone a lot better, but it also could have gone a lot worse. Sounds like the bilge pump just kicked on. Yeah, there's a lot of water down in this thing. Like, it's got a heck of a leak, likely from the U-joints. And, well, nothing's coming out. There she goes. Yeah, there's a, just a little. Well, hey, at least she ran. And we had a nice sunset while we were out there. I'm gonna let this thing drain for a while because it definitely has to. So, we know a couple things. 1, it runs. 2, it runs okay. 3, it leaks. 4, leaks real bad. That's all stuff that I can fix. The keen eye of you might have noticed, well, keen-eared, that later in the video when I was turning it over, it actually sounded a lot better. It didn't have the gallop that it had previously. So, compression came back on that cylinder we were down on. I have no idea what those compression numbers are, but we're going to pull some spark plugs out later and see what that is for sure. In the meantime, I have an appointment with the upholstery guy, so I'm going to take all the seats out of this thing, take them down to them to be remade. Hey, the light's fading, that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it, consider subscribing. Let me know how I did down in the comments. Thanks for watching. FYI, still draining. Yep.